Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. Congratulations, you did it. You hit your goal. You sculpted your body. You leaned out. You hit your target weight. You feel much stronger. You have endless energy. Now what? Let's talk about what to do when you hit your fitness goals. Stay tuned. Hey there, my friend Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, the power of possibility, passion, and purpose. And I just want to thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe it's the first time, maybe it's the second time, or maybe you tune in weekly. I just really want to say thank you. Thank you so much. If you're listening on your podcast app, please drop in, leave an honest rating and review. That helps others respond and get to know this show as well. And if you're over on the YouTube version, waving at you, seeing the video version of this, please be a friend, smash the subscribe and the notifications bell. That way you get notified every week when a new show drops. And it'd be so crazy cool if you hit the comment button, the thumbs up button there, leave a comment to where I come in weekly and get answers to look at the questions that you have, and I provide answers to you. And this helps with the YouTube algorithm as well, so others can discover this show. So I do get on there and reply. So if you have any questions or need help, please post those in the comments. So today's show, what do you do when you actually hit your goal? I mean, you're happy with the results. You got to where you wanted to be. Should you maintain or keep going? I mean, what a great place to be in, right? But a lot of times people really, really want to know that. A lot of times we're thinking about that in advance. If you're at this point, where I was, you're thinking ahead. What's next? Especially as you start to get closer and closer to your goal. And hopefully you know the obvious, that you can't just stop working out or, stop eating right to maintain what you've achieved and worked so hard to get. I dabbled in that arena for a few weeks. I hit my target. I was done because it was a certain amount of days. So when I hit those days, I'm like, man, great results. I'm right where I want to be. I realized maybe after a couple weeks that I wasn't maintaining anymore. I was going back already off track. I got lazy and kind of sloppy with the exercise routine. I started to maybe treat myself a little bit too much. And next thing I know, it's all of a sudden hitting me and going, man, this is when it clicks. And it should click with you too, that you need to exercise and eat right for life. This is a lifestyle thing. This is a lifetime thing. And it's your new lifestyle. I'm guessing that you already knew that, but for somebody like me, I just ended up I kind of knew it, but I didn't want to subscribe to that. I'm like, I know that I can just keep dialed in and I don't have to work as hard. But if you stop working out, you're gradually going to lose all the muscle and the strength that you gained. And if you stop eating right, you can expect to lose the muscle and gain body fat, or even if you keep the muscle, you're not going to be able to see it because of the body fat. So what do you do next? Well, I'll talk about this thing called maintenance mode in a bit. But before I do, let me address the idea, and I want you to consider the idea of opportunity. Now, here's something I didn't participate in when, I guess I didn't anticipate, I should say. I didn't anticipate this when I got in shape, that doors would open for other opportunities. I thought I would get to, literally like the end of the finish line. That's it. All right. It's all done. Not considering that there might be other options, other things that come up. And while I was super happy to have achieved the things that I was just blown away at what I accomplished. I just couldn't quit and go back to old ways without being totally frustrated. I knew where I had been, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go back there. I was so frustrated. I was not depressed, but very, kind of disappointed in myself. So I realized what I had gained. I got, these are things that you don't realize until you start getting to that, until they start happening, because visualizing them and actually achieving them is like, wow, it's crazy. Wow. But I had better energy. I had better focus. I was more flexible. I became stronger. And this gave me an opportunity to challenge myself in other ways that I just hadn't considered. For me to even say, tomorrow's yoga day, that was something I totally avoided. Are you kidding me? But I got good at it. And some of my friends, they hit their goal, and they use that hitting their goal as a launching pad for new adventures like rock climbing and skiing and marathon running, and signing up for those mud runs and those warrior dashes, or even joining sports teams. Some people have gotten in shape or in condition so they could donate a kidney or donate an organ of some sort. So it's mind-blowing opportunities that they reveal themselves when you didn't think they were going to be out there. So keep that in mind as you're going. I know it's interesting to try and anticipate, when can I just stop this train that I'm on? But when you all of a sudden get to a new destination, you see there's other things, the other opportunities there, you start to go, wow, that's really, really cool. So just be flexible and motivated, okay? Over the past 18 years, that when I was just about done with my routine, just as I'm getting done, and I do this over the past 18 years, as I'm getting close to the end of a routine, I'm always asking myself the question, what's next? How can I challenge myself? Because that's all I want to do. I just want to strive to get a little bit better. It doesn't mean I'm signing up for the next Olympic event. It's just like I'm trying something new. I'm trying something different. I want to keep my youth. I want to keep my strength. I want to keep my flexibility. And I want to stay challenged and engaged that way. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to try and pack on 10 to 20 pounds of new muscle, but I've got the option to do that. But I just want to keep challenging myself and having fun. So I continue to challenge myself every 3 months or every 2 to 3 months. And I'm looking for something either a little bit different. I'm going to ramp something up in a different way. So let's talk about maintenance. If you are going to maintain, you're going to need to still constantly make adjustments. You can't just okay, I'm done and go back to old ways. So you'll make adjustments and tweaks so you can keep the results that you had, because I think that's what people want to do. They're sometimes people don't trust themselves, and they're worried that when I get these results and work so hard, I'm just going to gain it all back and worse. So follow some of these things if you're getting into this and you don't want to work that hard, but you still need to adjust and work kinda. You got to look at eating healthy. Whatever your diet is, it's a big one. Just make sure that you're not going to go off track with your cheats and your treats often. It's keeping your calorie intake in that maintenance mode where you're eating the right amount of calories for yourself, so you can maintain where you aren't gaining but you aren't losing. You're right in that middle, that sweet spot. You may have to track some things for a while, but my guess is that if you've gotten to your goal, you'll figure out where that sweet spot is, or maybe you figured out that sweet spot in the final weeks of reaching your goal. So keeping your macros on point and your water intake there. Using supplements like a good multivitamin, vitamin D, fish oil, pre and probiotics, stuff like that. That's still going to be important. But you get to decide on what works best for you. The timing of your meals, how often you're going to eat, what sort of things you put on your plate, those food choices. If you want to be flexible or still stay structured with your eating, whatever you feel is going to sustain those results. That's what you want to do. Okay. I wish I could just give you a cookie cutter thing, but it's different for everybody, right? Strength training. Okay. You should still do strength training. The only changes I would necessarily see here is that you want to, maybe slightly challenge yourself, slightly challenge your current results, because time still keeps ticking. And so all of a sudden the muscles and things can adapt to where you're at. So you still want to have some variety, a little bit of that muscle confusion, to use some Tony Horton words there. But you just aren't going all out and pushing yours as hard to progress and advance to new levels. Okay. So, with your workouts, you might even test out other styles of strength training, maybe going with a higher rep count for a lean look versus lower, those lower reps for mass. Really, really depends. I mean, if you really built up the mass and you want to keep the mass, then continue the low reps. The thing is, you get to decide here. And it's all personal preference and what you can do to get in a great workout to keep the awesome results. So if you were doing strength training, let's say 3 times a week, you probably could back off to 2 times a week. As long as you're staying consistent and you're not letting yourself off the hook, maybe you just stay to keep things routine. You stay with the three days a week, but maybe the workouts are a little bit shorter and not nearly as intense, or you're not slapping on extra weight on the plates or lifting and going up to new levels with dumbbells and stuff like that. When it comes to cardio, those workouts are great, especially if you're wanting to burn calories. Like, for instance, you're wanting to keep the weight from gaining back on, right? And while I'd like to say this is, always happens, it really doesn't, but doesn't as nicely as you hope. But let's say you're in maintenance mode and it's easy to really get a little, wanting to splurge, maybe treat yourself a little bit more often. And the cardio can help burn off those extra calories, as long as I believe it's an occasional thing. Now, if you get to doing it more often, let's say you're having an extra 1,000 calories in your meal, well, burning 1,000 calories technically, with cardio should burn it right back off. But a lot of times you can't out-train a poor diet. So be careful with that. But you decide on the cardio workouts. It's completely up to you. When it comes to reaching your fitness goals, I mean, you get to decide, right? So what is it for you? Are you wanting to take things to a new level? You're going to get to see this. That's the cool thing about when you reach those goals. Keep pushing for those goals. And when you hit it, and as you get close to it, then consider, are you going to take things to the new level? Are you going to take advantage of a new opportunity, maybe some new activities? Or do you want to say, you know what, definitely, I am going to do maintenance mode. I don't want to gain any more muscle. I don't want to lose any more muscle. I don't want to gain any more weight. I don't want to lose any more weight. It's going to be great. Just know, time always keeps ticking. Things are always changing. So you have to adapt and adjust for maintenance mode. Maintenance mode doesn't mean you aren't doing anything. You need to still challenge yourself with your endurance and your strength and your performance, but you can still do it and maintain those current results that you have. And if you're still in pursuit of reaching your goals, you haven't gotten there yet, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I can explore my maintenance mode options in the future, then you want to join my 21-day virtual boot camp. It's an awesome launch pad to burn the fat, build the lean muscle, shrink the waistline. You can request to join our group at putyourselffirst.com/bootcamp. That's all I have for this week. I thought you'd appreciate that. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I appreciate you so much for doing so. Please share, subscribe, leave an honest rating and review. It helps others discover this show, and I think the universe out there is going to give you some major positive vibes for doing so. If you're over on YouTube, as I said before, waving at you, be sure to hit the subscribe button and smash that notifications bell so that you get an alert each time a new show drops. That's all I have for this week. You absolutely rock, my friend, and as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.